Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. Thank you for joining us. We're going to take a live look right there from our ski bowl camera. It looks pretty majestic up there, I have to say. I mean, I don't know if that's fresh snow. It's probably not, but that looks like something I would want to go skiing on.
They had a good weekend.
They did.
Yeah, 6 inches, I'm pretty sure, in some areas. So lots of skiers running around yesterday.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
not bad. But is that going to be here soon? That's what we're going to find out. Again, this is Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. We appreciate it. We are live streaming across all of our different platforms here, and we're going to bring you this update. We're going to answer that question. Well, not we. I'm not going to answer that question. Payton is going to answer that question. Payton Major, welcome to Fox 12 Now. Payton, one of our new meteorologists here at Fox 12 Oregon. So great to have you here and on board, and over here at the the weird little desk in the newsroom.
Desk. It's okay. We have a weird little desk in the studio.
That's true. You do too.
We call it the nerd desk.
The weather nerds. Yeah.
No, I'm actually from here, so this is really exciting. I've always was that kid that was so curious, wearing my pajamas backwards, flushing ice cubes down the toilet. So I know how exciting it is.
So
snow day.
You are prepared for that.
Yes.
Well, this is the thing. Last week we thought we were going to have some. Or there was the talk about that over the last couple of weeks, but now it does seem, we're coming up here to Thursday tomorrow. This is what people want to know. Yeah. Can we expect snow and ice? And if so, when do we think that'll arrive?
Yeah, and it'll be tomorrow. Greg.
It'll be tomorrow.
It's really exciting. Yeah, tomorrow, honestly, I think a lot of schools will be closed. Maybe your work will say work from home or stay home. So that's something you should really plan on. I know we are kind of wrapping up the day, so if you got things to do still, just make sure you're planning on maybe a work from home day or a stay home day tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, so starting here, we're on Wednesday afternoon, depending on when you're watching. It's about 3 o'clock right now, 3 p.m. So I'll just go with you. Walk us through where we're at right now.
Yeah. So if you have our Fox 12 weather app as well, we've been kind of telling you all week that we have these first alert weather days that are issued for Thursday and Friday. I'm going to give you kind of a big picture, and then of course we'll get into the nerdy details. But you can see first alert weather days are issued Thursday, Friday because we're expecting widespread snow and freezing rain on those days. Now I will say the main threat is snow, so I know that's good news. We are not expecting a ice storm compared to last January. That was not a fun event.
Yeah.
It's a little glaze of ice in spots, but mainly a few inches of snow accumulation is possible. So what should you plan on? In general, slick roads Thursday through about Friday morning. School closings definitely possible. I know we've had a lot of questions about Valentine's Day dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some reservations. I think it should be okay, just depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
If it's a late night thing, you should be okay for that. But of course, we have these beautiful blue skies today. We've been enjoying it. Looks are deceiving.
Yeah.
It's 40 degrees.
They really are.
Yeah, that's definitely no fun. So when we start to see these cirrus clouds coming in, those are those high-level kind of wispy, I like to say they look like cotton candy type clouds there.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, but it's also super gusty out there. If you were outside earlier, I know I saw some people kind of, doing this because the wind is not fun. It's currently 40 in Portland. It was 41 a little earlier. So we've been seeing that temperature right around the low 40s for the metro. Across the coastline, mid to maybe some low 40s sprinkled in there. Government camp's up 21. So yes, a very chilly day. For peace of mind here, it's usually around 51 degrees for mid-February. So we are very, very cold. And then also with that gusty wind, these are just a sampling of our peak gusts that we've had today. Near 45 miles per hour at the airport. West Hills at 39. I'll also show you, of course, everyone wants to know what Crown Point was, right? 70 miles.
70 miles an hour. Wow.
Rooster Rock was at 50. So yeah, it's just been really blowing. That's our east wind that really influences our cold air as well. And so that's why it's just been so chilly today. Now wind chill, if you've never heard of the word, it's basically a fancy weather word for saying what it feels like outside. So when we have that gusty wind and we have the cold air, those two together make it feel even colder. So it's actually feeling like 30 in Portland. So you really want to dress for the wind chill values. Anytime you hear that, you say, okay, it's going to feel like 20 to 30 degrees. You want to dress for that. Don't dress for what the high temperature is reading on your app. Really quick, this east wind is actually a huge player in the game for tomorrow. So this east wind is going to continue to kind of pump that cold air into the metro area. And what do we need for snow? We need that cold air. That's one of our checklist items. And so when we see, gusts in the mid-30s all the way pretty much overnight tonight into tomorrow, so this is early morning on Thursday. So really, really gusty winds still blowing, especially in the Gorge. Still thinking maybe 45, 50 mile per hour gusts are possible around that time. Hopefully getting a little better by Friday though. Okay, so overnight tonight, we got another chilly one. So this is what you're going to wake up to tomorrow morning, mid-20s, some areas getting close to the teens. And again, that wind chill likely going to feel like 15 to 20 degrees. So you still want to dress for, that exact temperature range. And then our highs are, you'll be happy to see, into the low 30s. So we got that cold air for sure. And so once that precipitation moves in tomorrow, it'll pretty much fall as all snow right off the bat. So 1 to 2 inches of snow in the morning for the PDX Metro and the Valley, and then Eastern Oregon are likely going to see maybe 1 to 3 inches of new snow. This area is actually quite snowy already. We were looking at our satellite imagery yesterday. So let's look at our culprit here for tomorrow. This is the area of low pressure that we've been tracking. It's slowly moving our direction, and so right now that's why we're seeing kind of those upper level clouds moving in as we go throughout overnight. That's when the moisture arrives. But this is kind of our basic timeline here. We're going to stay below freezing early tomorrow morning all the way even through Friday morning. So that means any snow that does fall will likely stick and stay there. 2 to 4 inches of snow kind of, we're thinking by mid-morning Thursday all the way through Friday morning. And then freezing rain is really only going to be a risk from late Thursday through early Friday. So that's going to be that time frame. We could see a little bit of a warm nose working, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then snowy, icy, especially on those untreated roads. So we're talking about neighborhood roads, if you live on a hill, kind of a not really trafficked area. That's where we're probably going to see those iciest spots. So especially if you're kind of in a remote area, really want to take it slower, really stay home tomorrow. I think that's our best advice. All right, so this is what it's going to look like tomorrow. This is now 1 in the morning, so right overnight tonight, as we work into the early morning hours of Thursday. So this is just before sunrise. Starting to see that snow work up. This is now Salem. We're thinking Salem maybe a few flurries right around daybreak tomorrow. And then this is now 8 a.m. So think by 8 a.m. we're going to start to see those flurries working in. And then really, you're seeing that bluish purple color all over, and that's representative of all snow. So great news is we're really not going to see that freezing rain risk until later on in the day. We'll zoom ahead here to around 2 o'clock, and I think this is a little bit of a transition period. So before noon, all snow. Afternoon, we could start to see some of that mixing working in, especially right along that I-5 corridor all the way to the coast range, maybe even the coastline, starting to see maybe more cold rain rather than snowflakes. Anytime you see that pink color, and I'll show you again zooming ahead, we're talking more about freezing rain or a sleet mix. So that doesn't mean those beautiful snowflakes falling all the way to the ground. That can mean more of an icy situation in some cases. So still 30 degrees at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then we start to see that wintry mix at times, and that's going to continue into those overnight hours. You're still seeing that pink shade, so that's kind of reflective of what I was saying there. Early Friday, we're still going to be cold. I think any extra moisture could still fall as some additional snow. And then even 10 a.m. Friday, we could still see those flurries flying around. So that's why we kind of gave you that time frame of about late Thursday to early Friday. We really think those roads are going to be the worst because it's so cold out there. By the time we get to, later Friday, starting to see some clearing. So you can see there really our whole picture here is stay home Thursday if you can. I think Friday morning, definitely some more widespread delays just because of those road conditions. Great. But yeah, basically, I'm going to break it down zone by zone too. If you want to take these graphics full, I think
that'd be great.
Easier. This is more wordy too. So if you're wondering, okay, what about my specific area? This is kind of what we're looking. The big picture for the Western Valleys and I-5 corridor. Widespread snow and freezing rain, icy, snowy roads likely by midday Thursday, definitely by noon, and then schools may close for both days. So that means kids probably can get away with pulling off your homework tonight.
Have we seen any closures yet or anything coming in?
Checked, actually.
Not that, I'm not sure either.
But if you ever are curious, you can go on our website, on our app too. It's always there. So that's just good to know. I know schools have text messages systems now.
Lots of ways.
Lots of ways to find out. Roads will be snowy midday through p.m. Thursday and even through Friday morning. So definitely make sure you have that plan. Basically, if you go to work tomorrow and you decide to leave in the morning because you don't see any flurries at 6 a.m., you run the risk of getting stuck or kind of getting, stuck in the snow or having a not so fun drive home. So you definitely kind of take that risk if you go to work tomorrow. Freezing rain, definitely at least a little bit in spots. For the coastline, this is actually one of our areas that'll probably be, less affected. So spots of freezing rain and snow, a little bit more of a mix there. I think that's where we'll have the warmest air, kind of near the low 30s, but we could be up to the mid 30s, and so that's when we see that mix, mainly to the north. And afternoon temperature is going to be around 35 to 40 degrees. So again, mainly north will be our worst impacts right along that coastline. Coast range, 1 to 4 inches of snow, still some spotty ice, and it'll be much better by Saturday afternoon. So really, this is just a 2-day event kind of for the coastline. Now the Gorge is an interesting area because we still have that east wind. And what that east wind does again is it still brings in the cold air. So 2 to 5 inches of snow later Thursday through Friday, snowy roads by Thursday evening for sure. And then by the time we get to the weekend, we definitely could extend those first alert weather days through Saturday and Sunday just because of additional patchy snow and freezing rain that kind of falls here or there. But that's just for the Gorge because it's cold enough there. When we look at the Willamette Valley, we're now kind of focused here on Woodburn, Salem, Albany. Snow and freezing rain mix starts soon after sunrise, about 1/2 inch to 2 inches, and then by nightfall, that's when we could see an additional 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and really icy roads in the morning. Saturday, mainly dry, kind of our melting day, especially by Friday night. I think we'll start to see some melting. If you plan on traveling on I-5, yes, icy, snowy roads possible. Hopefully, I know ODOT's working hard to treat those and everything, so I'm sure interstates will be pretty much clear and good to go.
Right, and we did do an interview well, not an interview, but we had an update from Portland Bureau of Transportation and ODOT talking about that for the roads, that they're going to be out there de-icing and at least those main roads. But as you mentioned earlier, side roads, don't depend on that.
Definitely. I mean, you
Yeah.
know how hilly it can get suddenly in the metro area, and those little back roads can get pretty icy and dangerous.
Yeah.
So especially by Friday morning, you want to be really careful because that's when we're going to start to, that fun fluffy snow that you may see Thursday will kind of freeze overnight and then become not so fun, more icy snow.
Yeah.
This is just our latest model run, kind of showing a sampling of what the snow could look like tomorrow. So this is why we have that range of 2 to 4 inches, because really it's a mixed bag out there. If you are south of Albany, likely going to have the lowest totals. They'll kind of veer down there as well. So Eugene, I mean, maybe just a dusting. I think freezing rain will be more of the risk in Eugene. Albany, maybe an inch there. Same with Corvallis. Salem is right in the middle there, so around 2, maybe 3 inches. And again, you can see the coastline. I mean, Lincoln City is nothing. Newport is nothing.
Looks like the coast couldn't more towards the coast range, though. They're going to have a little bit more. I see Granville on there.
Yes.
3.2, so
yes,
that's getting right up in there.
Definitely. So if you have coast plans, I mean, you really have to plan on that as well, those passes. And then this is now a little closer to the Dalles, so 3.5 inches, Hood River near 7. So obviously some higher totals when we get closer to the Cascades, those higher elevations. That's usually what we see. As far as ice goes, this model's been really back and forth. And I know when you look at ice and you see 1/10 of an inch or 3/10 of an inch, it doesn't seem like a lot, but only about 1/2 inch of ice is about 500 pounds on a power line.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep that in mind. Just a little bit of ice can cause some big concerns. We know that here in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, especially after last year, if everybody remembers. I mean, taking those limbs down. So this is where we're looking, though, right now, because I feel like, the snow, not as big of a concern. People get a little bit excited about that. Still, some of the issues, that freezing part. That is the part that worries me.
Yes, it does. And I will say, you're looking at this blue color, it looks a little, ominous. We're talking 1/10 of an inch, so really just a light layer of ice, and that's easily meltable. So that's good. We're not talking about, an inch of ice or anything like that. That would be terrible to melt. So this is really our low wind impact on our scale here. I want to break this down really quick. I was talking about that warm nose, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. So a snowflake is super delicate. It's fragile. It needs 32 degrees or below to make it from the clouds all the way to the ground. So when you see snow flying around, it's really been on quite a journey, but it made it there. But if it's freezing rain or ice pellets, it actually gets interacts with a little bit of a warm nose. So there's a little layer of warm air in the atmosphere that turned that snowflake to a rain droplet, and it melted it. And so freezing rain is when that rain actually freezes on the surface. It'll freeze on your car. It'll freeze on elevated, poles and stuff like that. Ice pellets make more of a clinking sound. You might think it's hailing. That also happens as well when they refreeze in those lower layers of the atmosphere. And so I actually like to explain things with food, Greg, because everybody loves food.
All right, there we go.
So donuts. And it sounds great, right? We're known for that in the Portland metro area, right? Okay, so freezing rain is like a glazed donut, a little glaze of ice, and it clings to surfaces. And sleet is like sprinkles of ice, so a sprinkled donut, and it pings. So that's kind of the difference. If you're sending us a photo, that's how you know, okay, this is freezing rain, this is sleet.
All right.
We know what snow is, so.
Yeah, that's good though, the sprinkles of ice. That's how you're gonna know that that's what that is, and that's sleet. That's
sleet.
Is that the same as ice pellets? Is that a different term? Pretty much the same?
I mean, sleet, grapple, they're used interchangeably.
Okay.
But yeah, usually just think if it's sprinkles, looks like hail almost, then that's, because it refroze it just before it hit the surface.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I know. So clings versus
That's
pings.
good. See, there's some knowledge you can share with everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
Okay, we're wrapping up here, but I just want to break it down over time. So we got flurries arriving at 8 a.m. tomorrow, or by 8 a.m. Really cold tomorrow morning. Remember, 28 degrees is the thermometer temperature. It's going to feel more like the teens for a lot of us. And then 1 to 3 inches of snow by around noon. Flurries, a little bit more windy as we get into maybe 3 or 4 o'clock. I think we'd see some sun breaks too at that point. So don't think the snowstorm's over. It just means we have a little break sometimes in the afternoon. And then the mix returns right around dinner time, maybe a little bit later tomorrow. And we got a mix of snow and freezing rain overnight, and that's heading into Friday. Friday, really the main impacts are going to be in the morning. Then we got the warmer air cooling coming in. So 38 degrees Friday, that's enough to start the melting process.
Gotcha.
Shortly after probably 12, maybe 1. And so if you do have those Valentine's Day plans, and I think if you have that plan that I'm going to go on this road that I know is good because it's warm enough, then you're going to be good to go. Obviously, the little isolated spots that may get more snow, you probably want to rethink those plans or just have a plan B just in case.
All right.
Here's the great news. Okay, this is nice. I think we're all kind of sick of the cold air at this point. So we're going to get back to normal next week, which is low 50s, even some mid 50s by Tuesday, and the rain returns. So we really have no chance for snow beyond Friday because of that warm up, and then because of the rainy weather returning. So big changes next week. It's just a couple days. We gotta
deal with that. Can we take a look at yesterday, or excuse me, tomorrow's, Thursday's lineup again?
Yes.
Sorry, I threw that to you. I just want to go back to like that main question, that we had there at the beginning. When could the snow and ice arrive? Which I feel like is what a lot of people are thinking about now. And you just gave us some amazing definitions on that and descriptions as far as what to expect, but we'll get to that here in a minute. But
sorry, takes
sorry, I just let me just throw a loop for you. So talking about what could be tomorrow, that general time frame. So flurries most likely in the morning. This is the Portland area, but we just kind of went through what was going on there, more south from here. But flurries in the morning, 1 to 3 inches of snow. Is that by noon? By noon.
Likely, yes. So this is an all-day event. I think it's important to know that a lot of our events sometimes happen at night or happen
so you wake up for it.
No, this is likely you're going to wake up to either some flurries or pretty soon after you wake up, there's going to be some flurries. It doesn't mean you're going to see snow on the ground right away, but it is going to be cold enough. I mean, our highs are only in the low 30s tomorrow. And so we definitely have all that cold air to fuel that snow. And then, by the afternoon, it could be more of a mix. So we're talking about sleet, freezing rain, wet snowflakes, and then maybe even just plain old snowflakes as well.
So maybe getting a little more treacherous even out there, depending on where you're at, whether the road has been treated, and all of that. Well, Payton, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is...
Thanks for letting me talk your ear off.
Oh, no, this is great. This is informative. This is what, that's why we have you over here, is to explain that to us. That's why I'm not doing that, because I am not a meteorologist. And we appreciate all that. So again, we're going to be updating you as Payton, the whole team, the Fox 12 weather team will be throughout all of this. So I know there's constant updates on the app, the Fox 12 weather app, and you all let people know. Social media, plenty of places to follow along, and in case I don't know if your models change or whatever it is, the magic that you do. If it changes along the way, they will make sure to update with you about that. So make sure you go to kptv.com, the Fox 12 weather apps, Fox 12 Oregon apps. All those are great places.
Yeah, make sure your notifications are on too.
Yeah.
We constantly are sending kind of push alerts through the apps. And so
Okay.
it's really important. If we got something new, we're going to let you know on that push.
Yeah.
And so just make sure you're reading that if you start to get it, maybe tomorrow morning.
There it is. That way you can go click, okay, here's what to expect, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, all right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Again, this is Fox 12 Now. So we live stream here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom from this desk every weekday starting around 1 p.m. So outside of our normal newscasts in the afternoon, this is the place to go. I'll be here tomorrow and Friday as well. So we'll be giving you those updates throughout the afternoon, depending on what's going on. And tomorrow, I think it's going to be a big one. So we'll be following along with that here as well. Check out all of our content at kptv.com or those Fox 12 Oregon apps. But thank you, Payton.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to have you over here. You are now
everybody.
a Fox 12 Now guest. So,
Perfect.
Thanks.